Um, well, Oklahoma is very excited to have started to embark on this new program that is a pilot project to us, even though it's really been in existence in other parts of the country, to where you are allowed under the manual of uniform traffic control devices to pick either 1/10, 1/5, or half-mile mile markers on the interstate system. So we just started that. Oklahoma decided to take a more conservative approach, and we went with a half-mile marker for cost purposes, and also because we just wanted to start this way and test it out as part of our pilot project. So as of now, on I-35 in Cleveland and Garvin counties, we've begun to use this program, and we plan to do another project right after the first of the year south on I-35 toward the Texas border in the Arbuckle area and south. So we'll see how these two go, but all indications are it'll be a good program. The number one reason for this on a national level is safety, to enhance safety, and also the side benefit is data collection and accuracy. So emergency services for years have been hopeful that the state will use this program because it allows them to get to perhaps like a stranded motorist a lot faster. Sometimes people get off, especially unfamiliar drivers with the state. So sometimes people get off their car, they don't know exactly where they are, they hadn't paid attention, and this allows them one more reference point to know exactly where they are. So it helps that, and also in the case of the department and the Highway Patrol and anyone else who collects data for accidents or for road conditions, it pinpoints it a lot better. Our traffic division has a set-aside amount of funds that they use for signage, replacement, new signage, new programs, all the way from mile markers to stop signs, yield signs. So it comes out of that budget. This year, because it's our pilot project and because we added it on to an existing project, it was part of our state funds. However, they're fully eligible for federal funding, and as the program moves forward, we'll budget it and use federal funds as part of the signage process. The cost of signage, even though we're very conservative with all of our funding, is fairly nominal when you compare it to enhancing the roadway, for example. In this case, we were going to do this project anyway. The signs needed to be replaced in this stretch of about 130 miles. And so you're looking at about 260, actually it's less than that. It's 130 miles of signage because we look at both directions. But in this case, it makes it 260 signage, and the total cost is about $50,000 roughly, but about 20-some thousand of it would be the additional half-mile markers. On a national level, since 2003, there was an indication in the manual for traffic engineers to consider using this if they wanted to. And it said anywhere, really the mile is adequate for what we need, but this is to enhance the driver's safety and possibility of an emergency type situation. So in this case, other states such as Missouri, I believe, has used a lot more frequent one. But in our case, being the state we are, we're always very conservative, and we felt like the half-mile would be what we want to start with. And after a lot of research, you know, with the state and with interstate system, we have other markers where people could use, but this was really in case somebody was stranded, they weren't familiar with the area, they got out of their car, that they wouldn't have to walk too much, which would be a very, very rare chance, because if you're on the cell phone, if you already have a cell phone, most people use that. But in this case, it's another added benefit for us. So we didn't want to go all out and use a 1/10 or 1/5, where we felt like in Oklahoma, that's not as much of a need with our straight highways and that sort of thing. So, and you know, things could change, but right now we're very confident that if the program moves forward, which we believe it will, that we'll stay with the half mile. We just want to remind motorists to start looking for these. These are only on the interstate for now, on I-35 and I-40, but again, because we work this into our projects, existing projects, upcoming projects, you're not going to start seeing them all over the state. So right now, I-35 to the south will get this because we already have 2 existing projects that will work this in, but it might be over a several-year period that we see them all over the state. So we want people to be patient and do pay more attention to mile markers in general, because every once in a while look up if you're driving, because in the event that there is an emergency, it's good to know whereabouts we are.